Hello Internet, I'm Zahn, and welcome back to another Let's Play series. This time around, I'm going to be trying something a little bit different here on the channel. Up till now, I've been playing a lot of old school video games, some newer stuff, some PC stuff, and for this one I wanted to try something that was something of interest to me, and I don't know how it's going to go, but what we're going to do is we're going to find out. As a sort of intro to the screen you're looking at here, which might look familiar to some folks that have been watching my videos since the beginning, this title, theme, and this screen are from the classic video game Guardian Legend on NES. And the game that I'm going to be playing through in this series is a fan-made sequel called Guardian Legend Shadow of Naju. And this is a completely free, available online video game that runs on PC and is created by a fellow named, I believe it was Vladimir Kozlov. And it is a sequel of sorts to the original Guardian Legend that has original level design and borrows a bunch of assets from existing video games. And the reason why we're looking at this screen here is because when you load up the game, the prologue immediately sort of drops you in without a title screen. So what I'm going to do here is read through the prologue, and then what we'll do is get to the title screen proper, and then we'll start the game. I'm currently recording this OBS, and so far in testing it seemed to work out fine. The game is whatever build that I downloaded, fully released, and it's free. And as far as I know, it runs and all the content has been implemented. I don't think a lot of people have played through this game in a Let's Play format. I did look up some videos of people who've been tinkering around with it since it came out maybe a couple years ago. But this is going to be an experiment. I'm going to record some sessions, get through the game, and see if I can play through it to completion, and we'll see how that goes. Looking at the title crawl, it says, "Once, long ago, an alien race sent a huge space object hurtling towards Earth, loaded with a cargo of mysterious life forms. During the long journey, these creatures were multiplying and almost exterminated peaceful dwellers of Naju. That is how the scientists of Earth named the space object afterwards." It's basically summarizing the plot of the original Guardian Legend. And let's see, is it space that scrolls through this? It's not space. There we go. I think it was paused. By the time the danger became clearly visible, Earth technology was developed enough to try and avert the catastrophe. However, human weapons weren't able to bring down such a massive object. Time was slipping away increasingly fast. I have to hit a confirm button and then space to progress the narrative here. Intelligence discovered that there was a self-destruction mechanism inside the core of Naju, and the most dangerous aliens had the keys to activate it. Scientists all over the world united to put their powers and knowledge in a project codenamed System DP, an agile and powerful robot able to infiltrate Naju and destroy it. I believe this is concept art, or it's fan art based around original concept art from the original Guardian Legend. The Guardian that we play as was codenamed System DP in the official lore, I believe. The campaign succeeded, though with the help of survived Naju civilians. Mankind was saved. In the same month, armament plants of many countries started to manufacture robots similar to System DP. That was called by a woman's name by the time. I think the non-canon name of the Guardian, according to what I was looking up before I started this, is Miria. Among the people, and officially later, these robots were proudly named the Guardians. The next several years were prosperous and progressing for humanity. There were quite a few scientific advances made, and the Guardians evolved from series to series, but the absence of an external threat paved the way for doubt for some people in power, and the production of Guardians was eventually declared inexpedient. Several countries, in addition, started to use them in local wars. The programmer's first language isn't English, but overall he's done a pretty good job of scripting this. The generation of mankind had changed itself. Most of the Guardians were disassembled, and the remaining were disarmed and sent to museums and depots. Thus, 30 years has passed. Mankind was on the brink of extinction once again, but didn't know it. And no one would know it, if not for the distress call that came from outer space. There was only one Guardian who received it, the first of created. AKA the main character of the first game. Without wasting a moment, she headed towards the source of the signal. Only one thing was strange. The signature of the source matched some other one, which was well known for Earth scientists. It's worth noting that this game appears to have been created and programmed in Flash. It's running through a web-based Flash player. So the graphics are probably going to be a mix of flat rendered graphics and or sprites. At least we'll find out. How and from where could another Naju appear? And will the Guardians stop the invaders? The world is about to know soon. And here's our title screen. The Guardian Legend Shadow of Naju. Basically, in a nutshell, the premise of this game, the sequel, is 30 or so years after the production of Guardian-type units, and they were sort of declared obsolete. The original Guardian intercepts the signal from space to find that there's another object on its way towards the Earth. And I have to use my mouse to start the game. And then once we're in there, we'll be able to actually use a gamepad. I have my PS4 controller plugged into the PC, and I was able to configure it using Joy to Key, which is a program you can download and map gamepad controls to keyboard. If you're watching this and looking to play this game for yourself, using Joy to Key will allow you to go and map any sort of USB-based controller, and the inputs will work in this game. It's enabled for keyboard by default, but I don't want to play this type of game using the keyboard. So that's why I set it up to use my PS4 controller. And we have the option to choose easy, normal, hard, but I'm going to start on normal. From what I've read, this game is considerably challenging, and I don't want to get stuck with a 500 episode Let's Play. We'll go ahead and do normal. And right away we're dropped in with an interface that looks very similar to the original game. In fact, it's pretty much identical. Our controls move the Guardian with the analog stick, the way I have it set up. I have fire mapped to square. I have my alt weapon, which I currently don't have, mapped to X. And my map/inventory screen is going to be mapped to the triangle button. Right now we are heading towards the target. The start or prologue part here functions like the original game in that you're going towards the target and you're kind of introduced to the shoot 'em up aspects. The Guardian appears to have been Metroided, as she doesn't have any of her tech and upgrades she got from the original game. She just has her base level shot, no weapons. The chip system is still here. We start with a max of 50. The score, I assume, is going to function like it did in the previous game and double as experience levels. Right away we've got these incoming sort of Vic Viper Gradius looking ships which were in the original game. It'll be kind of neat to point out which assets were being reused from the original and what assets are being sort of incorporated for the fan game, and also whether or not I recognize some of the assets and or music. I do know that this game pulls in themes and graphics and tile sets from other existing video games. It'll be kind of an interesting bit of gaming trivia to see what shows up. And there might be some original things too. We'll just have to wait and see. Prior to starting this Let's Play, I loaded up the game and I've sort of played through just a couple screens of it. I didn't get to any bosses or any major areas. Just wanted to see how it worked and get everything configured. But just like the original Guardian Legend that I did a few years ago now, it seems, this is going to be me going into this fan game completely blind. And we'll just see where it goes. If by some miracle the developer for this game put in assets from Dragon Spirit, I'm going to be very happy. That would be a pretty interesting and obscure pull for video game assets, but somehow I don't know that it's really going to happen. We shall see. As we're flying through the prologue stage, this is pretty much a variation on the tile set from the original intro. The turrets that we have firing at us here were part of the first boss, which, if I remember, was called the defense system. And if you look at the bottom left, under My Life, which is the blue bar, we have a boss health bar. And I can't remember if the original Guardian Legend had boss health bars. I don't think it did. When we played through it on NES way back, the only indication for major bosses that they were getting weak was that they changed color. I could be wrong, we'll have to see. But I seem to recall there not being a visible indicator of boss health when you're fighting them. As we destroy different parts of the defense system here, the boss health part will just tick down. We have to destroy all the parts, including the little auxiliary cannon things. And that functions sort of like a midway boss. We haven't hit the true prologue boss of this section, as noted by the fact that the music hasn't changed to some sort of boss theme yet. Overall, the enemy shots and damage isn't too bad for this first section. I'm assuming for the upper difficulties, the damage scales higher, and things will kill you much faster. I believe we're getting close to the end. There we go, there's the boss siren. And now we have a boss theme. This is an upgraded version of the original defense system. These sort of square-looking panels on top that are firing the bursts, I think those are new. I believe the original one only had a bunch of the circular panels. Again, it's been a while since I played the original Guardian Legend, so my memory's a bit fuzzy. And for the boss theme, I want to say this is from the NES Batman. It sounds like a Sunsoft boss theme. Something similar to what you hear in like a Blaster Master type game. I want to say this was one of the battle themes from the Batman NES game, which is pretty cool. We'll see. Maybe at some point I'll put some editor notes in here about what the themes are if I get them wrong. Okay. One panel left. Let me get the same sort of victory jingle.